Welcome back, fellow Gen Xers. Glad to have you back and be back. Today, we'll explore more technology that made our formative generation years even bigger. Cell phones. Before your phone could fit in your pocket, it lived in your car. Imagine that for a moment. It was a big, clunky box, often installed in the center console or bolted to the floor. The handset was attached by a curly cord, just like the phone in your kitchen back then. This was the reality of the mobile phone in the 1970s and early 1980s. It wasn't something you carried, it was something your car carried for you. This era, from 1975 to 1989, was a time of big hair, bright colors, and even bigger technology. Phones were not for everyone. They were for the rich, the powerful, and the very, very busy. This story is about a revolution that started with a whisper and ended with a bang. It's the story of how we went from massive car-mounted radios to devices you could actually hold in your hand. The true beginning of the mobile phone era happened on a spring day in New York City. On April 3, 1973, Martin Cooper stood on a sidewalk in Manhattan. He was an engineer at Motorola. He held a device that looked like a large, off-white plastic brick. It was a prototype, a very early handheld mobile phone. He decided to make a public demonstration. He called his biggest rival Joel Engel. Joel Engel, head of research at Bell Labs, part of AT&T. This was a bold move, technological showmanship. Imagine Joel Engel picking up his desk phone. On the other end, Cooper was walking down the street speaking from a portable wireless device. "Joel, this is Marty," he said. "I'm calling you from a cell phone, a real handheld portable cell phone." Silence on the other end. Cooper's rival was likely speechless. This was more than a phone call. It was a declaration. Motorola had beaten Bell Labs to the punch. The race for the mobile future had officially begun on a New York street. The device Cooper used was the ancestor of all cell phones. It was called the Motorola Dynatac. It weighed over 2 pounds and was nearly 10 inches long. Long before handheld phones became common, the car phone was the king of mobile communication. Starting in the late 1970s and booming in the 1980s, these devices were the first taste of freedom from the landline. A typical car phone had a large transceiver box in the trunk, cabling to a handset up front, and an external antenna to catch weak signals. These systems were incredibly expensive. In the early 80s, a car phone could cost $3,000 to $4,000. Over $10,000 in today's money. And that was just for the hardware. Service was pricey, with monthly fees and per-minute charges. Because of the high cost, car phones were exclusively for the wealthy. High-powered executives, doctors, lawyers, and successful salespeople led the way. Having a car phone was a huge sign of prestige. It said you were important, always reachable, even on the highway. People even left antennas on when selling cars to keep up appearances. It was a status symbol, right up there with a Rolex or a luxury sports car. You'd see them in movies, dramatic calls from plush interiors, closing deals or calling for help. Popular models came from Motorola and AT&T, built like tanks, with chunky buttons and hard plastic. Sound quality could be scratchy, and calls dropped when coverage thinned. Towers were few and far between. But to owners, the limitations were minor. Calling from the highway felt like the future. You know, it was kind of amazing. So, how did these car phones actually connect to the phone network? It was all based on a new idea called cellular technology. The name comes from how the service area was organized. Instead of one big transmitter for a whole city, the area was broken into smaller cells. Each cell had its own low-power tower. As you drove, your call handed off from tower to tower without you noticing. This was the magic that made it scale. The phone was essentially a two-way radio. The trunk transceiver was the powerhouse. It housed the transmitter and receiver to talk to the nearest tower. The car's battery supplied serious power. Early mobile phones needed that big power source. Small batteries couldn't cut it at first. You dialed on the handset, the phone pinged a tower, then a switching center routed your call. The center connected you to the landline network, and the other phone rang. This first generation was analog, like FM radio for your voice. Downsides: calls weren't very secure, and scanners could eavesdrop. Static and interference were common. Despite flaws, first-generation cellular was a monumental achievement and the backbone of the revolution. After a decade of development following Martin Cooper's first call, Motorola finally released the first commercial handheld cell phone in 1984. It was called the Motorola Dynatac 8000X. The name stood for Dynamic Adaptive Total Area Coverage, but most people just called it the Brick. Over a foot long, including the rubber antenna, and it weighed a hefty 2 pounds. For the first time, you could make a call without being in a car or a building. Its price tag, $3,195, over $11,000 today, a luxury item for the ultra-wealthy and competitive businesses. Features were basic: small red LED display and storage for up to 30 numbers, about 30 minutes of talk, then a 10-hour charge. Despite limits, it was a sensation. It captured the public imagination. A famous 1987 movie scene made it the symbol of wealth and power. Everyone wanted one, though almost no one could afford it. Built tough with big chunky buttons, no fragile glass screens. Using it felt important. Every call, an event. The 8000X was a statement. It marked when mobile phones left the car and walked into the world. The phone gets a handle, the first portable models. While the Dynatac was the first truly handheld phone, another category emerged in the mid to late 80s, the transportable, or bag phone, a compromise between the giant car phone and the brick. A car phone's transceiver plus a beefy battery packed into a shoulder bag. A cord ran to the handset you held to your ear. A complete mobile system you could carry, if you didn't mind 5 to 10 pounds. Big advantages: much larger batteries for hours of talk and a more powerful 3-watt transmitter, like a car phone, versus the brick's weaker 0.6 watt. That meant better reception, especially at the edges of coverage. For construction and rural users, bag phones were more reliable than handhelds. Purely functional design with compartments for radio, battery, handset, and antenna. To call, unzip, pull the handset, extend the antenna. Popular with journalists, field engineers, and emergency workers. Still costly, often a couple $1,000s, but cheaper than the cutting-edge brick. Meet the competition Nokia and the other big names. Motorola may have started the handheld revolution, but rivals jumped in fast. From Finland, Nokia emerged as a key player. In 1987, Nokia introduced the Mobira Cityman 900, a direct competitor to Motorola's bricks. Noticeably smaller and lighter, just under 800 grams, about 1.7 pounds. More portable, earning the nickname Gorba, after Mikhail Gorbachev was photographed calling from Helsinki to Moscow, a huge hit in Europe, cementing Nokia's status. It showed rapid progress. Ericsson led on networks and made popular car and transportable phones. In Japan, NEC and Panasonic developed for advanced domestic networks. In the US, Motorola and the Bell system, including AT&T, dominated. Bell Labs pioneered cellular theory and sold car phones while building the network. Tandy's Radio Shack sold popular, slightly more affordable phones to a broader, still affluent audience. Competition poured money into R&D, shrinking phones, improving batteries, and slowly driving prices down, pushing toward mass market. In the 1980s, owning a mobile phone wasn't about games or the internet. It was a serious tool for a specific person. The primary customers were business professionals, high-flying stockbrokers, real estate developers, and busy lawyers. For them, time was money. Making a deal away from the office was a massive edge. A $4,000 phone could pay for itself with one big sale. It made you more responsive than competitors tied to their desks. The very wealthy were another key group. It was the ultimate status gadget. Dinner reservations from a yacht, calls from the golf course, all about the flex. Some professions found them invaluable. Doctors could be reached instantly, foremen could coordinate on site, and journalists could report from the scene. No texting, no camera, no apps. One job: make and receive calls with a sense of occasion. Calls were expensive, no casual chatter. Audio could crackle and calls could drop, but the magic of wireless won hearts. These pioneers paid high prices and endured limits to join the mobile future. Looking back at 1975 to 1989, you can see the seeds of our modern world being planted. Phones so big they needed a car to carry them, symbols of power for a select few. Then came the 2-pound brick. Clunky, expensive, short battery, but pure magic. The phone became something you took with you. Brands like Motorola and Nokia pushed technology forward. Analog networks built the highways for our conversations. Early users proved the world craved mobile communication. Their enthusiasm paved the way for smaller, cheaper, better phones. What began as an elite tool was about to change life for everyone. Talking to anyone, from anywhere, was too powerful to stay exclusive. A science fiction dream became clunky, expensive, but very real hardware, the first chapter of our connected story. From the hefty car phone to the mighty brick, these are the ancestors of today's pocket supercomputers. What are your first memories of a cell phone? Did you ever get to use a brick, Dynatac? Drop your stories in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. At our channel, you are greatly appreciated. Remember, we belong to the greatest generation ever, Generation X. Keep being awesome, stay healthy, and God bless.